Hello, everybody. This is Julia Lopez here, your communication architect. And today we have another session, another conversation with my lovely dear friend and expert in colors, in image, in making you feel gorgeous and beautiful and bold and brilliant by identifying your true style through colors. And how can you communicate better by choosing the colors you wear? So welcome to this room, Aoife. How are you today, Aoife?
Good morning, Julia. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. And isn't it such a coincidence we are wearing kind of the same colors? We didn't plan that.
No, we didn't plan that. And I actually was going to have a conversation with you, and I could have picked about 15 different options, Julia. So I can't believe we're in the very same. Mad.
What you have to say that the blue is the communication color, and I use more blues in my presentations and when I'm giving trainings on stage. And red is my color when I really want to be bold. But for this kind of conversations, I tend to use more blue. So that is the more common thing.
And for me this morning, I chose blue as well for kind of communication, trust, and all those kind of things. But actually, orange, this shade of orange is actually a shade of red because it's red mixed with yellow. But and yellow is the color of joy. Red's the color of confidence. Orange is actually the color of friendliness and networking. So I am putting on my blue for trust, but I'm also putting on my fun side, kind of approachable side. So when I wear sometimes this necklace, even if I'm wearing all black, which is a very powerful color to wear, the necklace being this orange color shows my fun and friendly and approachable side. So it's a great color for networking.
That's awesome that you talk about this, because I think this is the conversation we have to bring to this space, because people, I know most people have a notion of the impact of colors, but they don't know exactly how they can use colors to enhance their communication and how to expand their impact. And today, I want to celebrate someone who we know it was a master on that matter of colors, being bold. I would try to share her picture and then we can then explore about her. Let's see if I get it right here, because I could not, oh yes, I think I do. Let's go. Here is the lady. So Iris Apfel, she left us just the past March 1st. And I believe most people know her, might not know much, but have seen her around for a time. And she is the one of these people that you think, oh my goodness, how can you dare be so daring in wearing something like that? And there's one of her quotes that today I extracted. It just says something like, let me see if I find it here, that it's all about attitude, that is not about just putting colors there. And she says here, let me read what she says. I dress to please yourself. Listen to your inner muse and take a chance. Wear something that says, here I am today. Let's explore that, Aoife. I love that quote.
It's so interesting, Julia, because when you said to me we're going to discuss Iris Apfel today, I thought I knew everything about her. Okay, I thought, and what's amazing is that my 16-year-old daughter knew who she was. So what I take from that is that here's a woman 102 years of age who has actually used color not just to say I'm here today, but to say I've been relevant for 102 years. That I can discuss this with my daughter, I can discuss this with you, and we know exactly who she is. And this thing about saying I'm here today, when I woke up this morning and I knew we were going to discuss, and here are you and I, and obviously thinking the same thing, I hadn't touched my crazy mad jewelry collection in over a year. And I used to wear it all the time. And I said to myself, I said, Aoife, this was so you, big self-expression piece, you know, telling everybody you've arrived. And I actually questioned myself, why did I hold back on that? And then, of course, I went upstairs and I start grabbing all these crazy things I have, which we will talk about. And I said, gosh, I forgot the wonderful conversations I've had wearing that necklace. The days I've come out where somebody has stopped me and said, oh, I love your piece. And I actually had a client last year who I put in an interesting necklace. And she said to me, if I love this necklace so much. And I said to myself, why do you love this so much? You know, why is this so much part of your life? And she said to me, because the younger generation, when I'm with them, her team, say, I really like your necklace. And for her, that relevance, visibility piece was so important. So this is not just a necklace here. This is not just about being extravagant. She pushed the boundaries, Tulia. And this morning, when you said we were going to discuss her, I just opened my little box of tricks again. And I said, oh my God, I forgot the fun. I could actually look at all these pieces here and name the wonderful conversations I've had with all of them and the wonderful joy I've had with all of them in expressing who I am and what I want to be.
There's another quote that I want to read from her. I cannot put it on the screen, but I read here, which it simplify what you're talking about. She had a lovely quote actually. Fashion you can buy, but style you possess.
Mm-hmm.
The key to style is learning who you are, which take years. There's no how-to roadmap to style. It's about self-expression and above all, attitude. I love that.
I love that. And it's one of her famous quotes. And I agree with that piece of that quote where it actually sometimes takes years to find who you really are. Because when I'm talking about style, when I put into decades, and if you think back to your 20s, Tulia, we wanted to look all grown up. You know, we've just finished college. I'm here with my little suitcase, my little pencil skirt, and you know, I'm now going to kind of dampen down who I am, type of thing. And 30s, you're still building your career. 40s, when I got to my 40s, I said, oh, actually, the things I wore in my 30s are now starting to date me. I'm starting to look old-fashioned. And I always use the word, it's about modernity as opposed to trend. So she has this wonderful expression that I love that kind of tags on to that. You have to be interested. If you are not interested, you can't be interesting, right? One of my favorite quotes from her. And I think as we get older, or are we on stage, or when we come out that first 7 seconds, we have to create that little bit of interest. Because she has also said, you always have to keep learning. And keeping learning is about making mistakes. It's about making risks. And she just, you know, she was the opposite of Chanel. She said, more is more. Just add it all on. But she said, always keep learning. And when we looked at her style over the last 102 years, you could see by her she had a curiosity. And as people, we have to show through our image that we have a curiosity. So even if I see somebody dressed head to toe in black, and I see a little yellow cuff on their sleeve, I'm going, there's something interesting going on. There was something about that when she chose. You said, oh, I can do that. So with that piece about the self-expression, this attitude, it is saying, this is who I am. This is who I want to be. And I think every decade you actually have to ask that question. Because I put on, I created a no list last week. I know my no list was 29 items I'll never wear. I'm not sharing it, by the way. Maybe the next one.
I should do the same, because nowadays I look to my wardrobe, and you know, I'm in this crisis here because all the images I have of me in social media does not reflect my hair. I love my gray, my salt and pepper hair now, but I have to update all of that. And so many of the clothes, the things that I have here, that I still love them, but they do not reflect who I am right now. But it's difficult to put a no on them.
It is actually, but in one way it isn't. So I didn't share. I shared maybe 4 or 5 of my 29 items, and maybe that's for the next call. But my criteria was, when I put them on again, I did not feel the same way as I felt in them 10 years ago. That was a big thing. It was making me feel now a little bit, I don't want to use the word frumpy, but you know what I mean? That frumpy kind of, oh, I feel a bit blah type of thing. My thoughts didn't feel modern in them, and because I always say a modern look suggests a modern mind. I didn't. I just felt some of the items. I just was like going, "This is not powerful. I want to feel powerful in my 50s." So
Mm.
it was great to have that list, because what it means is that it may look wonderful on something else, but I'm not going to get that same feeling. So it
Mhm.
helps me not buy those. So although I might say, "I love when Tulia wears that. I love when John wears that," and I'll go
Yes.
and buy it, but actually what happens is that I won't have the same feeling, and that's okay, because what she had, another fantastic quote that she had as well, is, when you dress like everybody else, you don't have to think like everybody else. Or when you don't
Absolutely.
dress like everybody else. And even this morning, putting on this necklace and thing, my thoughts process, I said, "Oh my God, I remember wearing this. I feel more alive." So it's a one, she's so much wisdom. And for her as well, it was never about looking pretty. It was about using clothes for a wonderful self-expression and attitude. And that's why I think she's so relevant at 102 as she was back in her 20s.
And Ifan, I want to make a point here for the ones listening that, okay, they see us talking about Iris, which is the extreme of expression, of boldness, of I don't care, of telling us that age is just a number. In fact, reading about her, she signed a like official contract to a model agency, official contract at
Mm,
age of 97. 97, because she was encouraged to do that, because she was always asked to come and to show, to take pictures. And I think it was Tom Ford or Ralph Lauren, I don't know, one of those told
mm,
her, no, do it officially. So she
mm,
became a model at 97. But this is, let's say, it's a different world. It's not the world of us here in our daily life and our work. And but you use the word that I believe that it's all is the essence of what we are talking here. Is about the expression. For the people out there in the corporate environment, people who are entrepreneurs building their business, there
mm,
will be. We are not telling you to wear like Aris. Far from that, but to understand that colors can be your best friend to communicate your message, to make you feel better, because there are certain clothes, as you expressed very well, Eva, that
mhm,
when you wear them, you feel better, you feel more confident, you feel good, and others do not make you feel that way. And that is so important. For example, I have sometimes to give to coach people who are. I give a specific example. This woman, she was preparing for her thesis. She had to give her like a PhD presentation, and she was a very casual type of person. And I asked her, "What you're gonna wear at the day of your big day?" Because there's a panel there judging her, and of course she was super and nervous, and the only thing she doesn't want to add to the nervousness is not feel comfortable with what she's wearing. And she said, "Well, I bought this suit, these new shoes, and etc." And I said, "Are you used to wear those kind of clothes?" She said, "No,
mm,
not really. I actually bought for this occasion." I said, "So now, from now on, you come for the practice wearing everything, because you have to get used to that persona that you
mm,
want to bring in that event." Because it's not that she was becoming a different person, but
mm,
is that the context required that she came across with certain authority, which for that environment, the university required some formality that was not part of her daily life as a scientist that she was. But for that specific occasion, the presentation, her appearance was very important to add to her message. It's always important, but in that moment, she had to add to it. She could not come wearing the same runners and relaxed clothing for that specific occasion. So, in summary, to for the people out there, it's about you identifying the colors you feel good about it, that suits your color skin. Even and I are wearing blues, but we have a different shade of blues. But also think that you feel identified with and explore that. Because as Eva said very well, at the moment you step in the room, you're already creating an impact. You're already telling something to people. You're wearing black, but you're wearing this yellow, as the example you gave. That is already a message. So everything you put on you is telling something. And it is important to be aware of that.
And I love that example that you used, Tulia, of that lady, because what's really important about that is that her presentation on the day was the most important thing, but all her image was doing was underlying her presentation, underlying it, giving life to it, give it conviction. And by dressing the way she did that day, she was also giving respect to the people listening to her. She wasn't hugely changing. And sometimes when I work with people, I said, I'm not trying to change you, but I do sometimes have to change people's perception of you in a given situation. So you're not changing ultimately yourself, but you do have to align your message with your clothes. And that's really important. It's just all, it's like we talk about the ABC of communication, the appearance, behavior, communication piece. It's all three have to come together to make your message land with impact. And you made a very good point as well that although that lady was a very casual dresser, she needed to rise to the challenge, you could say, for that particular moment. But if we go back to Iris Apfel, she makes this very good quote. I don't know the exact quote, but she said, it's better to be comfortable with yourself than to be well-dressed. So she said, yes, it's really important. For her, she said it was great for her husband never to buy her expensive jewelry because she was always collecting these crazy things. But she said, you don't push yourself, think outside the box, push your boundaries, but don't do it to a stage where you sit there and you go, I really feel uncomfortable. I mean, I class myself as a relatively extrovert person, but I'm also introvert. When I need to be extrovert, I have to push my boundaries a little bit to be out there with some crazy colors. But I won't do it to the point where I feel really uncomfortable, because then, as you know, my body language will change. I will think people are staring at me. I will think, oh my God. So when I work with people and their colors, I actually do a personality analysis first, because if they're introverted and I say, let's get all the black out of your wardrobe, they'll be like, oh my God, you can't do this. But that's what I was talking to you just very briefly on the color piece. You and I are very, not dramatic today, but we're, in blues and we're in our crazy colors. Sometimes what I say to people, if you want to make use of jewelry for a little bit of fun. So over the pandemic, I might have to jump in a car really quickly. And the houses were freezing, so I have a jumper on me and I might have a collection of jewelry beside. Quick, put the jewelry on, be presentable. But what I do sometimes with jewelry is that I love, if you don't want to go, like we're contrasting this morning with our colors. If you don't want to go so crazy, sometimes I will add the same color jewelry at the same color top, just to give a little bit of a 3D life or substance. So here is just a little burgundy top. You probably can't see it, but it's burgundy. I put just similar color there, right? And in fact,
I think we can see more. Yeah.
Yes, you can see it there. I do have a plain necklace. It's actually out in my car. That's velvet. That's the very same color as this top. So when I wear it, I'm more subdued, but I'm also giving a lovely lift to my top. And it's an interesting piece of jewelry. If you wear all black and you say to yourself, oh, I want to just liven it up a little bit, you can take an all black piece of jewelry. Of course you can. Or else you can, this is really dramatic, where you put pure white against black. You can see there, it's just so interesting. Or if you decide that's not my thing, you can also go with some yellow if you want to do some yellow against black. And that could be a very simple black dress, because as Iris Apfel once said, you can take one black dress and you can add jewelry to create 29 different outfits. And I thought, oh, actually, that's pretty good. Or you can take some, gold here, and you can decide to do gold. My hair is down to my style personality. My hair is not very good with fine jewelry. It's a bob. It can take. You can see. You probably can't see my earrings. Normally, I don't wear these in Zoom, but my hair, because it's not too big, can take quite dramatic jewelry. Or else I can take something really simple. This is pearls, but actually they're nice thick pearls that, again, I do have some thin ones, but this is more me. So I'm not, all these different pieces I'm showing you are different levels of comfort, and it's a different audience. It's like, I'm not going to go, if I'm meeting somebody for the first time and I'm dressing them, I'm not going to go in all crazy like this, because the first thing they're going to do is, oh my God, she's going to make me wear yellow feathers. Okay. And they're thinking, oh, jeekers. So I actually will go in much more calmer, a little bit more subdued with my jewelry. It might be this against a very simple, like gray top or something. It's not this, because it's not about me in their presence. It's about them. And right now I'm talking to you. It's about me talking to you, and it's about you talking to me. So I will use the different levels of jewelry depending on how I need to feel and who I need to address. And actually, my daughter last week, I was doing a show and I was just about to wear some crazy top. And she said to me, actually, Mom, if you wear this crazy top, you're going to take away from what you're showing. And she was right,
Yeah.
I said, actually, you're right. I said, this is way too much. It's not about me. This is about the pieces I am showing.
And it's about the context, right? Because that one day when you're feeling super, going out with your friends, that is the top you want to wear and something like that. And listening to you, I came to my mind that there was a conversation in LinkedIn recently about branding. And the conversation was that how much you can brand yourself within when you work in a corporation, within the corporate environment. And there was this conversation, some people saying, oh, my company allows us to really brand ourselves in terms of showing our personality in the way we dress, and also in our communication, and also in the way you promote yourself, self-promotion. And others were saying, no, this is a big no. And I know that we are talking here about all these colors, and we have to reflect this in this environment. Aoife, what would be your experience? Because just back into this story of the lady I mentioned, just a note that because she was not used to wear those kind of clothes, I suggested her to wear them to feel confident, to use, because she wanted that. But you made a point, very important, that you have to feel confident anyway, because if it was to the point that she would say, no, I cannot deliver the best of my message wearing this, we are going to have to find some term in between my casual and this formal. So that is the thing, because what happens is, what I see is most people, especially men, in the technical IT environment, where it's very casual and they have to pitch formally, and they just put a suit to go, and they are absolutely not in their comfort zone at all, and that affect their communication. So that message. So back to our people in corporation who want to brand themselves, but maybe are in a very conservative culture. What would be your suggestion, Aoife?
So when it comes to, as you said, it depends on the culture. A technology company will have a more casual culture in terms of their dress. A professional services or a financial industry, it might be a little bit more conservative. But also, Tulio, that depends on the country as well. Certain countries, I was dealing with banks in Switzerland, and it's quite black and grey. And then in other countries, it'll be a little bit more colour. So what I have seen, I suppose, globally, and my time spent in Deloitte, is that now firms are saying, we would like you to bring your complete self to work, okay? But as we know, only to a point. Okay, and that depends on the firm, and the meeting that you're in. So you always have to, two things I say to somebody is, first of all, when you wake up tomorrow morning, how do I want to feel today? And the second question is, who am I meeting? Right? And you actually have to bridge that gap. But if you are turning into something that's just not you, what happens is, as you rightly said, you're uncomfortable, your speech is affected because that word cannot be affected. And that's the whole thing. I've got a lot of women that I'm dressing this week for International Women's Day talks. And the biggest thing, actually, just to tell you how I dress them, was 50% confidence, 50% comfort. And one is the same as the other. So if we go back to the basics of that, is that you still should feel yourself. If somebody is a very, very, very casual dresser, and next minute they arrive someday in a suit, okay, they're just going to be, oh my God, okay, this is really weird. What I would say in that situation is have one piece on you that's a little bit tailored. So when I speak to firms about what smart casual is, I know what it is, it's smart and casual, but I say you should never have more casual pieces on you than smart. You should always err on the side of smarter. So if I decide to wear trainers to work today and something like blue jeans, I will have a tailored jacket. If I decide today I'm going to wear a bomber jacket to work, because that's pretty casual, well, then I'll wear shoes and a jeans. So I always, when I'm dressing myself, because I love my jeans, I look in the mirror and I say, okay, I've gone a little bit too casual here for my client. Can I change my bomber jacket to a piece of tailoring like a blazer? And can I make sure like my arms are covered? Can my jeans actually be a nice chino? So I'm not fully changing myself, but I'm changing one part of it. So when I have a slide called The Power of One, when I'm explaining to a very corporate firm what smart casual is to their people, I say only really one piece on you should be casual, really two if you want to, but don't err on the side of caution that you still are more tailored depending on your environment, but still feel you. Okay, I can't go to a company in a corporate suit, even no matter who I'm presenting to. But if I know I'm presenting to a financial firm and they're very serious, I will wear a navy suit I have upstairs, but it's got a white piece of piping here. Okay, so the white piece of piping is a little bit of fun, a bit like the yellow and the black blazer, but I'm tailored. I'm still tailored. Or I might have an interesting piece of jewelry here because I want people to be curious about me. At the end of the day, in work, no matter what environment we're in, we still have to bring a curious mind to what we do, a creative mind to what we do, a creative mind to a problem. So when you're sitting there looking banal and boring, you think of that person doesn't have anything interesting to say. Which it goes back to, you have to be interested. If you're not interested, you can't be interesting.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think everything is balancing, right? But it requires this understanding. And then as she coaching her, she said, this style comes with age, comes about with self-knowledge and self-awareness. Eva, there's a lot we can continue talking about her. And this month, I want to celebrate women. And I will be posting, talking about women this month. And of course, women, we are more into the image, into the colors, but we cannot forget the men out there who are also interested now in understanding more about the colors that suit them, how they can impact through their image. And let's put set for the next call next month that we bring more ideas and we focus more on the men in the corporate environment, creatives, how they can improve their image and their message. How can they improve their message through their image?
That's a great idea, Tulia, because I do work with men. And as you know, it's a bit more straightforward. Decisions are made quickly. And they, believe it or not, personally, certainly the men I've worked with, take it just as seriously sometimes as we do, because they also want to feel very confident in what they're doing and what they're saying. So there's quite a lot in that. So yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Let's explore this next month. Thank you so much for being here with me, Aoife. It's always a pleasure, the conversation, the colors, and the exploration. Thanks again.
Thank you, Julia. Thank you, everyone.
Now I have to finish.
You done? That's okay. That was
We
fun.
never know. I think it was done. My computer is very slow today.
Yeah, I just should layer them all on, Julia.
I think we are still live for a few moments, but it's okay. That is the behind the scenes. Let people.
Yes, absolutely. I'm here with all my. Tell them all I have to get this jewelry back upstairs now.
And it is telling here me that it's having problems in this streaming. So maybe we just need to keep
We just
talking.
keep talking and entertaining people. I actually laughing. I've got I brought down so many colors here, and I'm going, oh my God.
Exactly.
Because I was talking actually about, the whole International Women's Week this week. And I was talking about, here I am with like 55,000 colors here. But
I will remove us from the screen and let it close when it closes. Bye for now, everybody. Bye.